If we made it through that shop without knocking anything over, I'd be amazed.
Hi and welcome. So we've decided, seeing as it's Wales' only heatwave and it's a nice Sunday, we're going to take the bikes and we're going to go somewhere a bit further afield. We're going to go somewhere new we've not been, and we're going to go explore the quirky little town of Hay-on-Wye. So we just filled it with fuel. It only cost us about £19 for both the bikes, which was great. So I've got a GoPro attached to my handlebars on my 125, and we're following Sam on his bigger bike. So although he's on a bigger bike, because I'm on the 125, we've got a nice little leisurely ride across to Hay-on-Wye, which isn't too bad on days like today because the sun's out. It's just a nice relaxing ride across, quite along. I haven't recorded the whole journey. It was about a 2-hour ride across. So I've just picked out some of my favourite little towns and just a few bits of the nice winding roads which the route took us along. So I've done my best to edit out all the boring bits, stuck at traffic lights, stuck in a traffic jam, travelling down a road with no view, all that kind of stuff. First we're passing through Llandelio. I really like this town. It's really quirky. There's nice cafes, shops. They've got a really cool castle. I like the ride into this town as well. You go up over a bridge, which is over a river. It climbs up a hill into a really old-fashioned town, filled with lots of independent little shops. Then you get to the main high street and there's just old-fashioned, quirky, charming shops lining both sides of the road. It's always got bunting hanging out and flags up, and it's just a really welcoming place. So we're heading out of Llandelio now, and we're onto some of the A roads. These are really popular with bikers, and we're making our way across to Llandovery. There's quite a lot going on in Llandovery actually. It's one of our favourite places. Normally we'd stop and have something to eat, but this time we're just passing through. So both those towns begin with Llan, which is a double L, A-N sound. The double L sound's the one everyone struggles with. But it's a really popular beginning for Welsh town names because it means something similar to parish. So the Welsh town names are fascinating. They're all really, really descriptive. We've actually driven this road loads of time in the car, but it's so much different riding it on a bike. It's just really enjoyable, really good journey. So this road was lovely to ride, although it's a 60 mile an hour road and my little 125 flat out is only managing at about 55 mile an hour, so it really struggles to keep up to the speed of the road, especially if there's a hill or I have to slow down for the corners. Luckily we got stuck behind a little van most of the way, so anybody following us can blame the little van and not me. Here we are now, just turning into Llandovery. This corner was a lot tighter than it looks. Nice corner for bikes though. It's probably actually the first time I've ridden through here or driven through here and the gates for the train's been down. So we had a bit of a wait, but it wasn't too bad. Gave us a chance to catch up to each other and just have a bit of a natter through the comms. It's just a really, really nice ride through here. We pass lots of bikes, there's lots of cafes, there's lots of gift shops, lots of independent stores. I think there's even a museum and there's some little castle ruins you can have a wander around too. It's just a really nice place. The roads got quite narrow, so we did get stuck in a jam. Normally on a bike you'd filter through, but as I'm still learning, just not confident enough to do that, so it was another opportunity to just sit there and chat, and we weren't in any rush really, so it was fine. Normally it's one of those towns which we would definitely have parked up and just had a look around, gone and got a coffee somewhere, but today we're just passing through. This is further on in the journey. We're now into Powys County and we're on some really nice twisty roads. It was just a really nice ride through, even on the 125, and even only being able to do 50 mile an hour most of the time. Even though my bike was under the speed limit for the road, it was still a really, really enjoyable ride. I didn't feel like I was holding too many people up, and there was lots of places people could get past me, so yeah, it was just a nice journey. And we're here, it's Hay-on-Wye. So we just arrived. We're here on a Sunday. The weather is gorgeous, so we're not quite sure what to expect. Whether it'll be busy or quiet, whether anything's going to be open. But we're going to enjoy a look around and see how many bookshops we can find. Oh, look, old-fashioned seats. So my first impressions are this is a really, really picturesque place. It's got all the bunting up, all the shops have really pretty windows, it's really clean, old-fashioned streets, little ginnels, lots of stuff to look at. Central Centre. Pretty. Shame that's not open. Heading onto the main street, we were instantly greeted with a few bookshops and also some really impressive looking art murals. Walking further down the street, I spotted a little sign out the corner of my eye which said Honesty Bookshop this way. So we headed through the archway and we were greeted with this amazing castle. And also a little Honesty bookshop. I did have to giggle though, there was more mention of the bookshop than there was of the huge castle.
Honesty bookshop, but no mention of a massive castle.
The castle also had an outdoor cafe and we needed to sit down and rehydrate as well in the heat. Carrying the motorbike jackets, the helmets in this heat can just get really, really hard work. The cafe was perfect in this weather. We were sat on a table looking over the rooftops of the rest of the town.
There's drinks and cakes on the back as well.
Oh, thank you.
That one is one of these turned into a rarebit, so that one's just a rarebit on its own.
So after we sat down and decided what we were having to drink and eat, I decided I'd get my sketchbook out and start sketching away at the scenery I could see. The rooftops, the spire, the chimneys. I had in mind creating a watercolour piece where you've got all the different colours in the tiles, the roofs, the chimneys, the background. I just thought it looked really pretty. I didn't notice at the time as I was sketching away, but the waiter and waitresses were wandering in and out of a window to serve the food. I just thought it was a really, really novel way to get in and out of the building. It just made me giggle when we looked back through the camera footage. The food here was amazing. It's one of the best Welsh rarebits I've had for a while.
Look, the Welsh rarebit, folks. Yeah, that's mine, thank you. I'll put it in the pot rarebit. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bacon, brie and cranberries. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here I am just adding some of the finer detail into my sketchbook design. Neatening up some lines, adding in some tiles, the detail to the top of the roofs, the windows, bricks on the chimney, stuff like that. So my aim was to try and capture the age of the roofs with the wonkiness of the roof line, the wear and tear to the tiles, the moss growing in and out of the gaps. I really wanted to get all those type of details into my picture. My idea for adding colour was to use watercolour washers, but really watered down washer, just to capture all the different blends of colours in the roofs. I'm using my little fold out travel watercolour kit to do this. It's really easy to use for washers. And the colours are also really pigmented, so when I want to add a bit more colour to certain areas, it really shows up. I wanted to add some fine line detail in with ink pens. This is quite a new technique to me, so I'm still practicing with this. This is why sketchbooks are amazing, really. You've just got a nice surface you can practice on, build up your skills, try out different techniques. I quite like the overall look, but it is a technique which I'm going to keep experimenting with in future. I also really wanted to create an art piece which was linked to the books to represent Hay-on-Wye. And for this piece I decided to use the iPad to make a digital sketch. I really enjoy painting with the iPad. I like some of the techniques and the different brushes you can use, especially the brushes which I used for textures and background effects. After food, we decided to go for a wander and explore the castle courtyard with its little quirky shops and medieval features.
Yeah, like we shouldn't be walking on the back. Oh, an art gallery. Oh, it's shut.
I was really hoping to find an art gallery that was open on a Sunday. I enjoy looking at how other artists create their work, the styles they have, the mediums they use.
Food shop around the corner.
But unfortunately, all the art galleries seem to be shut today. Even though the art gallery was shut, next door there was a textile shop which was open, and the craft person had a working studio. It was great to walk through the shop and see the items being made and all her creations.
Oh, really cool, yeah.
Through the shop led to the back of the castle, where you have like the manor building, and around the corner there is some old medieval castle gates with the doors still intact, made out of wood which has weathered over the years. So I weirdly like taking pictures of really old doors. I tend to keep them as reference pictures to hopefully paint one day. This is definitely going in my collection. I really like this one. I like the weathered look to the wood, patterns on the doors, the rust which was forming on the nails, and the metalwork which was used to hold the planks of wood in place. It's just a really cool door, and hopefully I'll get a chance to paint this at some point in the future. Walking through the castle gates, we were back into the main part of the town. This bit feels like a market square, and we were still quite amazed at all the bookshops we could see. There was a lot more going on in this area of town. It was a lot more hustle and bustle, a lot more noise in the streets, a lot more people sitting around. Even for a Sunday, it was still quite busy.
Cheesy.
Heading into the next part of town, this area seemed to be full of antique shops, bric-and-brac type shops, and also the art galleries. I'm not sure what the building to our left is, but it was also really interesting. If you look at the roof, it had a medieval feel to it.
Even though it's Sunday and a lot of things are shut, it's still a really cool place.
Yeah.
Look at that, look at the roof.
We were going to have a look around a few of the antique shops, but then quickly realised we're walking around with bags and helmets and everything in the shop's breakable, so that was a quick rethink and back up out of the shop.
Okay.
If we made it through that shop without knocking anything over, I'd be amazed.
Backed up and decided that was a really bad idea. We'd be like bulls in china shops. This was a cool little art gallery we found. I think it was the Lion Street Art Gallery. The gallery was shut, but it had lots of work in the window by an artist. I think he's called Matthew Wood. He's using gouache for most of his works. I really like the detail and the style he paints the stone floors in. This is another shop which I've taken a picture of. I'm going to use as a reference photo. I like the old-fashioned windows, the stonework, and the cute little signs down the side. Next we came across this bookshop and it's called Murder and Mayhem. It looked awesome from the outside, lots of like murder mystery novels, but there was people in the shop, and with our bags and helmets we wanted to wait outside and let them just kind of clear the shop first because it seemed a small space. Didn't want to be rude and push past anyone, but that was probably a terrible decision because we missed out on exploring this shop and it sounds and looks awesome, so I'm quite gutted about that.
Just close.
I really want to go in there.
Another couple of storefronts. These make great reference photos. They're just quirky. The old-fashioned windows, doors, signage just makes for a great picture.
It's purposely like that, or it's done that over time.
This was an interesting shop. Had a bowed front window. I'm not sure if it was made like that or if it's happened over time. It was definitely a unique look.
It's the biggest bookshop I've ever seen in my life. See how far back it goes.
This is Richard Booth's second-hand bookshop. He was quite a character in the town. It's his vision of selling second-hand books which paved the way for all the other bookshops in the area. Here's another reference photo I liked the bunting crossing the street. This is the same clock tower which I painted the roof of earlier on at the cafe. This is how many miles it is to Timbuktu, the town which Hay-on-Wye is twinned with.